What stood out to you this morning from both B of A and Goldman Sachs, Gerard?
I think Wilford touched on it very well. There was more interest sensitivity in the Bank America numbers on the net interest margin that we didn't see yesterday from the banks that reported. And in terms of Goldman Sachs, they had that enormous equity investment number, which was really what pushed their numbers up. But generally speaking, the capital market numbers have been good, depending on the capital markets player. But generally speaking, they've been good for all of the banks that have reported. And again, Bank of America was more that asset sensitivity that caught them in this quarter.
Yeah, Goldman, of course, you, along with many other analysts, I would assume, getting ready for that big investor day towards the end of the month. I think it's the 29th. Wilf indicated, at least according to his reporting, the possibility they'll actually have a worldwide settlement for one MDB. Will that be important? Is that an important thing to note?
Yes, it is. And I think what the company has expressed to us is that that's what they would like, is a worldwide settlement. I think the U.S. part of it is probably locked up from the reports that have been released. It's really the Malaysian part of it. But here's the key question that we've been raising. We don't believe that the dollar amount will be anything that they cannot handle. They'll, possibly sign a deferred prosecution agreement with the Department of Justice, which is not uncommon in these situations for banks. But they are a Federal Reserve Bank holding company. So what will the bank regulators do? We're always talking about the prosecutors and the penalties, but we happen to believe that we don't think the bank regulators are going to sit by the side. And so that, if there is going to be an enforcement action that they have to handle, that would also probably be announced at the same time.
Gerard, I want to go back to Bank of America and specifically this interest rate sensitivity. The fact that the shares are down 2% today, do you think that it would be moving like this if it hadn't had such a run-up in the months beforehand? I guess basically, what do you think of valuations here?
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good point that you're making. The stock has had a great run. There's some profit taking, obviously. And one of the things that we've seen, and this, could benefit the custody banks such as Bank of New York or State Street, who are reporting later on, the wholesale deposit funding companies, they saw in this quarter their funding costs fall faster than the consumer deposits. And Bank of America, as you know, is a very strong consumer deposit-oriented company. So that's why I think they suffered maybe a little more than J.P. Morgan, for example, yesterday. And so to us, the stock has run up nicely. This company is still, long-term, one of the investments that people should own because of the strength of their franchise in the United States. And there'll be ups and downs. We all know that. The other thing, too, is if we see a steeper yield curve toward the end of the year, which Bank of America is not factoring in, but if we get to see a 2.10, 2.20, 10-year by the end of the year, that would be quite favorable to all the banks, including Bank of America.